Okay. Alright, we are back. Sorry, I had to run off there. Basically, we're just sorting out the stream settings, so now we're streaming 720p, and it looks like our stream is better quality, and it's in the green now, so we should be good to go. Where did we leave off? We were adding a focus state on this button.
Yeah, you're right. I completely forgot that.
I'm just going to basically do exactly the same as I did in the last video. 200, I think it was. And this kind of... So now I can like tab to it. Let's remove this outline.
Outline none, right?
Yeah. So now we've got this focus, we can have this outline, and it still is good for accessibility because you can tell.
I see, right.
You can tell which one it's focused to when you're using the keyboard.
Okay, that's good.
Because some people obviously can't use their mouse. So they use their keyboard for everything, and they tab between things, and obviously it helps to know which one of it is selected to know.
It's a really good idea. I don't normally do that.
Yeah. And then we'll add a hover. I don't think an active one is really needed. But
yeah, because it's a modal.
Yeah, exactly.
That comes up.
Theme.colors.grayscale. We'll just do 300. Oh, well, I feel like that's going to be quite a harsh change.
Yeah, it's a bit more. I don't know. Yeah. So we need.
We could have.
You could like just tint it slightly, you know? Yeah, like with an opacity. Yeah, that's good. And then add a transition as well.
Yeah.
And you could just say this is standard for like all the hover states. It's the current color with an opacity of 0.8. Just every time.
Do. It'll be opacity we're changing.
Yeah.
We have a comment, I think. Oh.
Oop. What's that?
This is on my last video. This guy commented. Weird.
Waiting for part 3, but part 3 is happening right now.
Yeah, weird.
Mad.
I will put my notifications on Do Not Disturb though, because we don't want that happening. Cool, so we have a transition on the button and the cursor.
Looks nice.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I like
0.8?
it. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't really like too much of a harsh change on that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so next thing to do. What is the next thing we should do?
I was thinking, does reply need a hover state as well? Because it's going to be the button that goes somewhere, no? Okay, let's do, this is the main page, right? So we can just do this page.
Yeah, but what I noticed today is that like this isn't black obviously, so I'm thinking this might be the primary color that they wanted, this like dark sort of teal color.
Yeah.
So I was going to try and make a shade out of them by the ones that we kept. So we kept a 200, a 300, we kept this 500 and called it 400.
Okay.
Did we call it 400? No, we just called it, I think so it now looks like this.
Yeah.
Basically. And then this is 200.
Yeah.
And then this would be 300 now. And then I kept that one at 600 because... I'll do. And... okay. I'm gonna cut these out of here.
This guy commented saying, are you guys making mock-ups?
I didn't design these, like these original designs, but we're currently building the front end out in React and next.js of this design, and I'm just working on some colors because the designer who made this hadn't made any like color scales or anything like that, or a style guide. It's just sort of styled it together in Figma, and I'm sort of making it a little bit easier for us to develop by having some colors defined.
So yeah, we're creating like color palettes so we can add them all as variables.
Yeah, exactly.
basically, and then the code is a bit neater.
So I feel like this should be the
I
300.
see. I didn't even notice that color. I just thought it was black.
No, yeah.
It's black in the other screen. But in this one
I
it's
mentioned
blue.
this earlier. So like in Figma and Sketch, you can make components out of these buttons, and then
Mhm.
when you change them, like in one place, they changed across all of them. But the designer here obviously didn't do that, so it's fine. It's just we need to go in and sort of like take into consideration.
You think he just changed the color on one element and forgot to change all the others?
Yeah, exactly, because they're not. So I'm gonna kind of like make a color variation. Because we can change these whenever, just in one single document. Like, it's not hard for the designer to come to me and be like, okay, so like it's great, but these colors need to be changed.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So.
Ooh. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. I think the light one maybe. No, I think it's okay. It's light enough.
Yeah. I mean, 600 like realistically would probably be black because. But we'll make it just like a really dark version of that.
Yeah,
it's like close to.
I guess that's okay.
It's like close to black.
Okay.
And then we're gonna fill that in to the theme. We're gonna create like a new set of colors.
So blue, I guess, or like primary.
Yeah. Brand is like the term I like to use because you can have a brand color and still have primary colors and secondary colors, but the brand might not always be the primary color.
Because I was thinking like you have a brand primary and a brand secondary.
No, yeah.
That's what I would call them, so just primary and secondary. Where do you live? This guy just asked. We live in England.
Yeah, the UK.
Yeah, we're currently in the southwest.
Southwest of England rules. Gonna add these colours in.
Just realised this isn't a separate computer. Do you want to scroll down this page a little bit so that we can see the chat? Because right now it's gone off the screen.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, there we go. That's better. I'm from Toronto. Cool, man.
Sweet.
That's pretty cool.
I've never been to Toronto.
No, me neither. It looks really nice though. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
What do you do in Toronto? Satinder.
Okay.
So what are you doing? What are we doing now?
I'm just thinking about things because...
Thinking about the colours?
Yeah, okay, so now I'm going to introduce...
Supply chain management. Cool. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. So, okay, so now basically we want to introduce these idea of themes into all of our elements. So what we kind of want to do here is replace this variable here with like a prop of the theme name.
Right, okay, I see.
So we can say...
Well, this is kind of why I would have thought you would just call it primary. And then if you want to change the theme, you just change what primary is.
Well, yeah, but in a design, like I also had the same idea when we were sort of like deciding on this like method of having colors like font weights like this.
Yeah.
And Dan, who is a designer, says that when you design and you have a brand color, it might not necessarily be the primary color of the website.
Right.
So it's like the website could be like green, like Spotify, but the brand color could be like black. I think it's not, but like as an example.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. Like I'm not sure if I agree with it yet, but I'm gonna stick with brand.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So we want to pass in a prop called theme.
And this is the name of the theme that we're using. And so previously it would have been grayscale, and now it's going to be brand.
Yeah, or whatever we pass into it. But by default, we can have a default prop and default props. Is that how you spell default?
Yes, that's right.
Whenever I stop a word in the middle, I can't work out like how to spell the word. I have to like type it.
I get what you mean. It's like muscle memory.
Yeah.
Instead.
Okay, so default theme is grayscale.
Got an error.
Got a syntax error because we're not using this prop. So now we can pass this theme into this button. Like so.
Okay.
So
Yep.
by default this theme is grayscale, but then if we went to like the header and we changed like this button to have the theme of brand, then it would override that grayscale prop.
Yeah, so by default it's grayscale.
Yeah, exactly.
But now we're going to use the brand.
Yeah, precisely.
So
now,
for every single like component, we have to pass in the theme.
yeah, I mean we could have like
Seems kind of annoying.
we could have a common class which has like these common props which we want to have in all of our components, and we just extend that class on each one of the components. But
That would be cool. That would be cool.
But I mean, I don't think it's like needed at this level.
Okay, it's just kind of going to be a bit weird if we have quite a big page with like button passing the theme, input passing the theme, another button passing the theme, a text area passing the theme. And
Yeah,
it's like
I think-
kind of like
I
it
think
should
that's
just be
fine.
the theme should just be auto applied everywhere.
Well, no, because you might have an input using two different themes on the same page.
So okay.
Because, for example,
I would
if
have thought the theme would be one theme for the whole website.
Nah, because you can have sort of like a theme of like brand and a theme of grayscale. You might have a grayscale and a brand button on the same page.
Right.
Or a theme could be
I
like
get it.
danger for error, and then you could have, when you post a form request, all of the fields that are invalid change to the danger theme,
Okay,
and then the
okay, I
input
see.
is like an exactly same color scale but in just in like a red shade.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I got it now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, now we just need to replace this grayscale with theme. I'm gonna keep the color
Raoul.
as hey guy man. I was just like hey guys, just reading the
read
comment.
the comment. Raoul says, "Hey guys, hey Raoul, how's it going?
How you all doing?" So yeah, I guess we just need to pass the props in here and then do props.theme. Is this the one thing that we have to do? That's
Yeah. What are we missing here? Something's angry.
of course. Like, what am I doing? I'm doing.
Oh wait, you're already in. Yeah. Okay.
I'm already in. Like,
You're
a
trying to
variable.
like double. Double template.
Sometimes like VS Code is great, but sometimes I feel like
You did a dot and a bracket.
sometimes I feel like it's autocomplete just kind of fucks me up a bit because I'm just like I start typing and then it's like I didn't mean to do process stuff.
Yeah, sometimes it gets a bit aggressive.
Hey guy.
Is it possible to build Urban Dictionary with next.js? Well, it's possible to build anything with next.js,
Yeah, exactly.
really, isn't it?
Next-
It's just React. If you can build it with React, you can build it with Next.
Yeah, and React is like if you can build it in HTML CSS, you can build it in Next. Like it's pretty much.
Yeah,
how
you
it
can
should
just
go.
do anything you want, really.
Yeah. So the background color, I'm going to keep the color of the like text of the button always white because I feel like commonly we're never going to change that, and then we can do for specific styles we can change it if we need to.
Okay.
But, like
Okay.
yeah, I think you'll see what I mean.
Sure.
So now we just need to do the same thing for these other ones.
Yeah. Okay.
So pow pow. Okay, no errors by the looks of it. And let's see if that header button is now the brand color. I don't think it is, right?
I can't tell.
Oh right, it's because it's using like 600 as.
Yeah, of course. And 600 is that super dark color.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to set the main one is 600
Well,
and lighten from there.
let me rephrase the question. Would Next.js be fitting for something like Urban Dictionary? I mean, do you mean like the size of Urban Dictionary, like this like production web app? Like,
I don't see why not.
yeah, exactly. It's kind of just like nowadays. It's just like whatever you're most comfortable in. Just
I
make
think
it in
you
that.
can build a big, high-quality production website with anything.
With most things.
And I don't. Yeah, I think I know some people talk about how maybe Vue is quite good for small projects and Angular is good for really big projects. because Vue is really easy to like start with. You just have a tiny bit of code and then you've got Vue.
Yeah.
Whereas with Angular, you immediately need like a shit ton of files to even begin your project.
Yeah.
So if you have
so.
like a one-page app, it's not worth using Angular. So maybe this is the kind of thought process, and I think Next kind of sits quite nicely in the middle.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
It's you can have a super simple starting point with just like 1 or 2 files.
Yeah,
and
and then
work.
you can scale it up right up to like a full production app.
Yeah.
Next kind of just does a lot of the work for you behind the scenes. So it's got server-side rendering, and it's got page caching, and it's got like a separate server which
code
runs.
splitting as well.
And, code splitting. So it does a load of things for you that you don't have to think about.
And this is the kind of thing that is great for a huge production website that has a lot of stuff on it, because it's going to make it faster.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow people to change the shade of the default like starting one.
Oh my god, okay. It's getting more complicated.
Yeah, like I like to just like flesh out these things with just like you can change anything.
Every option.
And every option you can think
it's
of
quite,
it. You can.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that you do it like this.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, that's a beast answer. Cool.
We're beasts. We're a beasts. So now I've got that shade. I could just change this to like props. That was a good try. Props.
Good try.
And then, I like. I was thinking I could do like props.shade minus like 100 to get like the lighter shade of it, but we don't have like a 4 and 500, so
yeah,
that might not necessarily work.
I feel like this is getting really complicated now. These color variables.
Nah, you think about it too much. Like,
okay.
It's kind of like it feels weird, but like the amount of control now I have.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's kind
button.
of a lot of stuff now, but later on it will be really easy.
Yeah. So now I can say that the default starting shade for this button is 300.
You're kind of like creating your own like version of CSS that you can use from in the HTML. Like you're inlining CSS basically at this point.
Yeah.
You're saying like, I want this property of that object to look like this.
Yeah, well, when you work with like designers and stuff, quite often they want to change these tiny things around the site, and it's really easy for them to change like a prop from brands to secondary because they know what that means.
It's quite readable, yeah.
But then if they would like to go in and they try to change the actual like CSS styling to all
like
different
borders
colors
and shadows and stuff,
there's normally going to be a few errors, right?
Yeah. It's and I didn't say it meaning a bad thing at all. It's really cool that you're like making your own inline CSS kind of framework. It feels. But yeah, okay. Satinder has said, have you guys ever tried Emacs?
No,
I have not. Isn't that something people used to use in like the early 2000s and the 90s?
Yeah, I haven't tried it.
It's a text. I think it's like the like elite text editor, right? Like using Vim. If you use it, you're like a boss.
If you use Vim, then you're a professional.
Yeah, there's like loads
hacker.
of keyboard shortcuts, and you can just kind of press 3 keys and like explode the universe using Vim.
That's pretty cool.
So
but,
I think Emacs is similar.
Cool. No, I haven't tried it.
Me neither.
To be honest, I just like coding in an IDE. You get a lot of like.
Oh, so many helpful features. Yeah,
exactly. Like
sometimes I edit a file quick. Like, you know, you have like the ZSHRC file where you can add aliases and stuff. I do that with Vim.
Yeah, because it's you're in the terminal.
Yeah, you're in the terminal anyway. Yeah, and because you know you're just going to change one line, it's faster.
Yeah. But
for this,
yeah, and for example, whenever I get like a syntax error, my room flashes red, which is pretty cool. So it kind of just shows, it kind of tells me when there's a syntax error without me having to look at my code properly.
Raul asks, will this project be open source?
Yeah, it will be. So
cool.
There is a repository, and I'll probably throw the link in at the end of this video, like just like when I finish this video, I'll throw the link in the description to the repo. But yeah, both the front end and the back end to this will be a open source project. But yeah, it's going to actually be like a fully functional website where people can sort of sign up and actually use this product. So hopefully that will happen.
We thought that makes the stream a bit more interesting. You're not just seeing us screwing around and like throwing something together. Like, this is going to be a real site that's up and people will be using it.
Yeah,
hopefully.
So it's probably going to be a course of like maybe, I don't know, like maybe like a month or maybe 2 of like daily like maybe not daily, but like live streams at least. And then hopefully by the end of it, we're gonna have a pretty sick project.
A month of daily live streams, I guess.
Maybe not daily, but as many live streams as I can do.
That's quite a lot of time. Wow. See
Yeah.
you guys. Have a good one.
See you later, man.
See you later, dude.
But yeah, I was just thinking I was just gonna live stream until it's done, and then, or anytime I want to work on it, I have to live stream. It's like a rule for myself.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
And then
that's quite cool, actually.
It gets me into live streaming more, which is fun. I'm getting used to it. So, okay. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to allow us to pass icons in to buttons.
So wait, does the color thing work? Quickly, go back to the browser.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, sick. Okay.
Yeah.
Pass icons to
I
buttons.
feel like there's a border on that button.
Yeah, there is. It's really tiny.
Why is there a border on that button?
That's like it's like the focus state, isn't it?
No. Like, I didn't think buttons had borders by default.
Maybe they do.
Maybe I've been wrong.
It's gone.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, maybe buttons have.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes me happier. Alright, this text also is medium, and I feel like that button looks slightly too thick for some reason. Like the text here.
I think it looks okay. You need to kind of put them next to each other to be able to tell, I think, the same size.
Yeah.
So put that button in the design of on the far right, yeah, and there should be space. Yeah, it looks perfect to me. Oh, actually, I think you're right. Also, the P in pages should be a capital.
But we should probably do some font smoothing.
Yeah. Okay.
The CSS trick, because that like kind of thins fonts a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So let's just copy this and throw it in.
Cool.
The global styles.
Is this something you normally do? On your websites?
It just makes the text like a little bit more smoother. What is this?
I don't know.
Unexpected tab character. Oh, because when I pasted it, it had like a tab in and not a I'm using like 2 spaces instead of tabs.
Right.
That's a discussion for another day.
That guy from Silicon Valley would like kill you, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Alright. Oh yeah, we just made that a bit smoother. Yeah, so like that's thinner already. Can you notice the difference?
Put it back up next to the design again. Yeah, it looks the same now. That's interesting. So it's kind of like the design knows that you're gonna do that and compensates for it.
Yeah, I think that's what this does. Like, because this is a web app, I think that's what this app has done to its font so that it's smoother. And I think you can change it on the font.
Right.
But
yeah, I get what you mean.
so that should kind of match things up a little bit better.
Yeah, the reply logo looks better as well now.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So now, passing icons into buttons.
Oh yeah.
Alright. So I'm gonna make another prop. Surprise. And it's just gonna be like the URL to the icon.
So are we gonna use like Google icon font or something? Or
No.
The URL to an SVG.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Because next.js is has like its own custom server.
Yeah.
You can just make a static folder, and then that is what the like when you go to like /images/.
And this just works. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Just out of the box.
Works by default.
Yeah, because when you make a static folder, so
that's
then I'd
cool.
have a new folder in that called like icons, and then I'd save like plus.svg in there, and then I can just pass in.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, so let's just save this plus. I might be specific with the coloring. The good thing is about having an icon font is you can change the colors really easily by just like text color on the icon font.
Exactly.
But
in here you have to go in. You have to edit the SVG file, right, to change the color.
Yeah, well, you can set a class name on the like sort of items that you want to have color control over, and then you can use that class name to then define it in CSS. And it's just using fill instead of color or background color.
Use fill. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to worry about that at this point.
Okay.
There's a lot of things where I'm just like, I'm just not going to
do that.
export
it as a white, and that's fine.
Yeah. Later on, I can change this around. So, sites, reply, front, static, icons, plus, save. Okay, so now that should be in here.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it in sign in? Jesus.
Really,
I don't understand Figma sometimes.
Figma did that itself.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's because it's in a sign in. Yeah, it's in like a sign in folder.
Oh, that's weird.
And then it's like a plus icon. So.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's done now. So we're gonna have a icon prop type of string. Yeah.
Because it's URL.
And then this icon default prop type is just gonna be null. And then in here we can just say if there is an icon, so let's pass it in up here.
Getting big.
Then we want to have an image tag with the source. An igum tag with the source of that icon, and we should have an alt,
right?
Yeah.
That's probably why the linting thing,
Yeah, we can probably just say like button icon, right?
I guess it would look really weird if that text actually loads there, though. Because you probably wouldn't be able to see it because of the size.
Yeah, well, I think alt is also like an accessibility thing. So it's when people are like blind or have like vision impairments.
Is that not like title? Do you give the image a title?
Yeah, actually, I think it might be
title instead of alt.
But yeah, I think alt might just be like the
It's
alternative when it doesn't load.
Exactly that. Yeah, in which case probably just the plus on the keyboard.
Well, yeah, but we're passing in like completely different icons each time, so I want it to be like a generic name.
Of course,
because the actual button label itself will say like create page, and then it would, so even if it reads as like button icon create page, you still know it's a create page button.
Right.
So I'm just feeling.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I feel like that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about that too much. And then we want to define some styles to that because it needs to be pushed away from the text. If we look up here, it's got like a... how do you select this?
Has it got a shadow?
No, this text is just like, it's going over like the button.
Oh, I see what you mean.
This, like, I much prefer designing or working with designs in Sketch than Figma. So it's probably like about 10 pixels.
I think it's more than that because right then it was 13, but there was still a bit of extra space. So I think 15.
Yeah, okay.
Is gonna be.
We'll play around with it and just do it by eye. So yeah, let's say that the image tags in here has a margin right of. We'll start with 10 pixels and then we'll move it up. And then we also want to have like display flex and stuff, just so that we don't have to worry about things being like center aligned, and we can just align items center.
Okay,
and that kind of just works out all of that stuff for us. Because flexbox is great like that.
True.
So now on this header button, I'm gonna drop down these props.
Because you've got a lot of them now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now we should be able to pass in the the icon.
I'm just an icon living.
I'm just an icon living. And it would just
don't sing it too well, otherwise they'll copyright strike your stream.
So it would just be like icons and plus dot svg. I'm not sure. I can't remember if you have to do like static like this. We'll see.
Let's see.
If that doesn't work, then okay, yeah.
No,
so I think we have to do static like this.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, sick.
Cool. Let's make sure we're getting like roughly the same padding here. Or margin. Because I reckon that's close, right?
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean,
like I might have just hit the nail on the head.
Did you add a width to the button?
No, it's just using padding.
Right.
So that it can expand.
Because it looks... I kind of feel like the space between the C and the plus needs to be a little bit bigger. Do Do you agree? It looks
Yeah,
like the
okay,
design
maybe.
button is a
Maybe.
tiny bit wider.
But only by like a couple
yeah,
pixels.
like 2 pixels or something.
Yeah, these things don't really matter to me, but
Give it a shot.
yeah.
Yeah, try 15.
I'm gonna try 13.
Try 15.
I'm gonna keep it at 13.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
gonna just say that's fine. That's
okay.
wonderful.
Sure.
Should we create this sign
the
in
P
button?
needs to be a capital P.
Alright, should we create this sign in button?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll also change that P to
P.
capital P.
Please
That
do.
P.
It's been really annoying me for quite a long time.
Create a page.
There we go. There we go. Also, the P on page is uppercase. Look, dude, he already said. He said it without, like, before I did.
Sick.
It's not just me who it was annoying. It was annoying the viewers as well.
Okay. We could do this in a couple ways. We could have like a button that's transparent and doesn't have a background, or we could have just a link. The reason why I say button that's transparent is because this is in like a button container.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah, and that's kind of how the layout is defined.
Yeah. So let's think about how.
So
we
then
can
we
do
need
that.
a new prop for the button, which is whether it's transparent or not.
Yeah, I guess.
But you also said that by default the text for a button is white,
Yeah.
which now is also not true.
But what we can do is, if you
Link.
he thinks it should be a link. I mean, it's gonna obviously be a link, but whether it should be styled like a button or styled like.
Okay. Wait. A more important question is, what do you want the clickable area to be? Do you want it to be that whole area around sign in, or do you want it to be just the text?
Yeah, I guess that's sort of. I want it to be around sign in.
You want it to be around, like that much around.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, in that case,
on a touchscreen phone, you want as many. Much
I'm just
click
thinking
areas.
if you're on a web and like you kind of hover like sort of here kind of thing, then like on the edge of this button, it's gonna look quite weird, especially if it has a hover state.
It won't really have it. Like, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine, man. Like.
Well, Raoul agrees with me and he thinks it should be a link.
Yeah, but it's a button. Like, this is a button. It just doesn't. It's just think of it like a white button, basically.
But why is it a button and not a link?
Why is this a button and not a link?
Because it's in a square.
So is this.
Yeah, but you can't see the square.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you can't see it. The way the spacing works is that it's got an 8-pixel spacing, not like a whatever the spacing is between the text and the button.
I guess so, but 8 also seems like quite an arbitrary number.
Yeah, we'll make that 10.
Okay.
Like,
Alright, then that's fine. Yeah, do it.
yeah.
Do it. I'm content.
Okay,
Sold.
because what I thought would be quite cool, right, is that if you have a transparent set on like a transparent prop set to true, then the color of the text is then
Will
the
then flip.
theme that you pass in.
Ooh, okay.
So it, like, switches.
That would be cool. What about the hover state then? What would we do for that?
That would just change the color of the text.
Change the color of the text. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Alright. So we need to have, like, if transparent is true, we also need to change the color of the text on hover as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to change a couple things. This message is held for review. Please say something in Spanish that I feel like I don't want to say because it's probably rude.
I don't know what.
I think it means suck dick
Alright.
in Spanish.
I'm alright, thanks. Yeah, I agree. It's a cool idea. So.
I think we should show that comment anyway, though, because it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Just click show. So everyone else can see.
We'll show this comment. I hope it doesn't say like something really bad, but I wish I could speak Spanish. Wait, can't you speak Spanish?
Yeah, I can a bit. Yeah, that's why I know what that means.
All right. Okay. So we need like
Look, Raoul said, "Lol, don't do it."
Don't do it.
Do you know what it means? Was I right?
All right. So let's make a transparent prop. Transparent. It's going to be default to false, and it's going to be a type of. What's going to be a type of P?
A boolean.
Yeah.
It's a bool. Is
It's a
it?
bool.
It's not a full boolean.
It stands for boolean.
I know, but
And we need to pass that into this styling. I'm guessing we're gonna have
It's
to.
kind of annoying that you have to do this whole theme equals theme, shade equals shade, transparent equals transparent.
Yeah, it would be nice if you could just do
write
that.
it once. Yeah, it would be a lot nicer.
But I see why you can't, because
it makes sense, but yeah, it's just a shame, really, isn't it?
yeah. So now we have that transparent prop being pulled into this styling. We need to say that maybe we could just wrap this stuff in, so we can have like a props dot transparent. If it's true, then we're going to do this stuff, and if it's not, then we're going to do this stuff.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And then we can have
Wow.
these two like this.
Yeah, okay, that makes
And
sense.
then we can have basically switch these two around in
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah.
We might have to put some brackets around things so that it knows what it's returning, right? Is that what this is?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, exactly. So we might need to have like a bracket here and a bracket here and the bracket.
No, we don't need that. I think it's just because it's like an inline. Yeah, it's because it's used ambiguously. You need to put a bracket in front of props.
Oh yeah, because it.
And then after the last quote.
Like
After
this?
after the end of transparent, after the last quote.
right.
Like that. Yeah.
I still don't fully understand what that means, but.
Yeah, it's because the ternary expression is ambiguous unless you put brackets around the whole thing. Because you could get confused between the whole function being on the left hand side of the question mark. Like it's like props returns props.transparent is the whole function, and then that evaluates to true or false.
Okay, cool. So we don't need to have this because we're within a props sort of function now anyway. So we're already passing props down to this element. And then, so if it's transparent, then the background color is just going to be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Transparent. And then the color is going to be this sort of theme and shade that we pass into it. Like this.
Mm-hmm.
Pow. I think it's also going to look nice with the focus, like with the accessibility focus. When you're tabbing between it, it'll be nice to have an outline to know which one you tabbed around.
Yeah.
I think so. We can keep the focus
so
how it is, I think.
Yeah.
And then the hover is going to change, so we can just copy this like expression, and then although we could just. What we could do is, because the other buttons are just using exactly the same background color, we can just only change the opacity, which will be like, that's neater, right? Because that would just change the opacity of the text. It won't add a background color. So yeah, it's fine. Have you guys touched the back end yet? Haven't watched the first live stream? No, we haven't touched it yet. We thought we'd start with the front end just because it's like, it's a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun to kind of build out some styles and then see how see what we want to use in the back end and how we're going to use the sort of back end.
I mean, previously we tried to like define the API and what endpoints we would need and what they would do, and then we kind of realized we didn't actually know what they needed to do yet, so we thought it would be easier to make the front end first. So we can figure out what the back end needs to actually do.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have a much better understanding of how the product's supposed to work.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking that should work. So let's test it out by going to this header. And by the way, I think that these buttons are going to be on top of each other because this isn't like a flexbox div. So we might have to mess with that afterwards.
You're right.
And it looks like this button is the brand color as well, right? Judging this color here.
Yeah.
That's the brand color and not like, so I'm going to keep these settings. We don't need an icon on it, but we just need to set it transparent. And if you're doing like booleans, you don't have to say like is equal to true.
Right. Yeah, you can just put the name. That's cool. Yeah, Raul said, okay, makes sense.
Okay. And then we'll say...
Who is the designer, Raul says?
The designer is Alex, this guy. And I'm guessing this is his actual handle on Twitter if you want to go look him up. And we're designing a product. We're sort of working together on this reply product. It's gonna be fun. Okay, let's see if that transparentness worked. So yeah, it worked. As I said, it's on top of each other, but we can fix that with just applying some classes here. We can just say class name, like we did with the search container. We can just say button container, and then we can say in the styles we just have the button container, and then display flex. I almost put block by default. They're going to be touching each other.
Yeah,
now.
Do we need like a kind of a width and a space between, or a margin, or?
Yeah, we could pass like a right prop to buttons, because quite often you have buttons next to each other and they need to be spaced apart. Depending on what form that is or how far apart, it could be like a completely dynamic thing. There's a couple ways we can do it. We can just have like what we did with the container and applied like a default class, so we can always access that in some sort of like unique CSS, or we can make a prop which is like right, and then that applies the amount of pixels right you pass into it to that button.
The prop makes more sense, but like what if it's then aligned left in a different scenario? You would want one for left as well.
Well, yeah, then we could just add a left prop, but until that scenario, well, because
you don't think that's then getting like too much?
No, like 100% use as many props as you can on components, because then it makes the components like totally scalable, totally like you can customize it a lot. You don't have to make like a separate left and right button component. It's just
of course, I wouldn't, but I was just thinking you could put the styles like a level up.
Yeah.
Inside the header styles rather than being inside the styles.
That's the way the first method of adding like a class to this and then targeting that button specifically. But for example, with this one, if you wanted to have left padding, you just use the right prop on the previous button, because buttons are only, I think, going to be next to other buttons. I don't think they're going to be. So I'm just going to say right default is 0.
Yeah, that's fine then. That's fine.
Yeah. Right is prop types of number. And then we're going to use this right in here. And then we can just say that the margin right is going to be that props.right, and then pixels, like this. And then, at the moment it's 0, but then if we wanted to say that this button pushes stuff to the right, we can say right is going to be 10, and that will push it away 10 pixels.
Cool, man.
Cool.
Alright, that looks good now.
Yeah, so now we have this...
so do you want to check the focus state, see how that looks?
Yeah, sure. So if we're on the input and we press tab, it goes to sign in, and then it goes to...
Yeah, that looks pretty good actually. I think it looks nice. How about the hover? Do we have that?
It makes the text lighter.
Yeah, it looks cool, man. Alright, cool. Let's move on to the next part then.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that headers... I mean, we haven't done the icon...
I just realised the search bar isn't in the middle now.
Yeah, I noticed this too. And it never was in the middle of the screen, and it just worked out that it kind of was, because both of these divs on these sides are really small, so you couldn't really tell.
It only comes out in the middle of the divs either side of the same size.
Yeah, and it's because this takes up a different amount of width.
Space. Yeah, I got it, yeah.
So all you need to do is you just need to make all of them take up as much width as they can.
So we need to set like flex 1 to each one?
Yeah, exactly that. And that will fix it. So we've already got...
I know flexbox, man.
So what should we do in this situation? I mean, what I would do, I think...
I would just put it on the header styles, like all the children of the, like one of the containers have
all the direct children.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like...
Because it's very specific to this situation that we need to do that.
Yeah, I just don't like using that. I don't like doing...
Not that selector, like the child selector.
I don't like using it. I like to be explicit, so I'm almost tempted to wrap this in a div as well.
Yeah, that's okay, I guess you can
and then just defining the child divs and making them flex 1 instead of doing all of like completely different.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So now I can do like the direct divs inside this have flex 1.
Yeah. Okay,
and then that should make this center. Now this needs to be right aligned.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
So this button container, we can say justify content, flex end.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's a flexbox that'll
Yeah.
push things to the end.
Cool, man.
And now that text is centered.
Cool, man.
Cool.
That was neat.
We need to kind of work on the mobile because it kind of gets a bit.
I wouldn't do that for now because we don't have mobile designs. So it's probably best to work on what we do have designs for first.
Yeah.
And then do the mobile later. But for now, like, it's close. You would just have to reorder them. And...
Yeah. Cool. I like to look how long we've been streaming for every now and again. 45 minutes.
Yeah, you can see it here.
Oh, sweet. So
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye.
cool. So yeah, I reckon stream for like an hour, then have a break, then
And
stream
then-
for another hour.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah, we can just put like the screen on while we're having a break if you want.
Exactly.
Rather than actually ending the video.
Yeah, people don't want to be sitting down watching the same video for more than an hour, I think, without...
I know, yeah. So
Them
yeah,
themselves
we
going
need to
out.
get up and have a walk around, and then so do you guys watching as well. We don't
Yeah.
want you sat on your asses for an hour.
What's this? But yeah, we will just come back in like maybe 30 minutes and continue on the stream.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds good.
It's just so that we can sort of collect our thoughts. So yeah, maybe we should use this we've got 15 minutes. We could probably do something else, right?
Yeah, we can add a new component. So let's start with this page, I think, and just kind of, so we have 3 sections, right? Like left bar, center, and right bar.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
It's kind
so
of 2 sidebars.
It's
I think
laid
the
out
whole,
like,
the whole site is laid out like this.
yeah, which is nice that the designer has included
Yeah,
this
yeah.
layout stuff here. Okay, so the way I see it here is this is a fixed width, and this is a fixed width. This
Fixed
one over.
width of 241.
I can't select this one because all these
they're
freaking groups.
Yeah.
And then this content area is expanding.
Yeah,
So-
that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, as you bring the side in, like these guys will stay the same, and the content area will get smaller.
Yeah,
That makes
exactly.
sense.
So let's make that happen. And how can we make that happen?
Raoul said, "Great stuff."
Awesome, thanks, man. Well, let's think about this for just a second, because maybe we could make a sidebar component which has like this width applied to it, so that this would be a sidebar component and this would be a sidebar component.
And yeah, we just pass in
And
a
then-
prop of like left or right. There's,
Well,
like,
we
a
won't even
prop
need
or
to do that
something.
because it's just like if it's laid out at the end of the 3 divs, it will be on the right sort of thing. You know, it'd be like sidebar content
Yeah.
sidebar, and then pass in different.
Yeah, I guess we would just have like a space, justify content space between on the container that contains these 3 things.
Yeah, and then just flex one between on this
And
content
this one.
area.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah, that makes sense. And then the other 2 have a fixed width. Yeah, so we have a sidebar component.
The
It's-
boy
it's-
is an OG follower. Are
This-
you talking about the videos that are still on my channel under the old helping develop stuff? But because I did have a helping develop channel which was just called helping develop and not the helping develop. But like when I was like,
So you had a
13 or
different set of videos.
something, I had a different
like,
channel
really old.
altogether.
Is
and
it
then-
still existing?
No, because I accidentally deleted my channel, thinking that I could then remake my channel because I wanted to like start again,
Yeah.
and thinking I could.
Oh, you wanted to
remake
get
it-
rid of all your videos and everything.
remake it under the same username if I
Mm.
deleted it, but it still wouldn't let me because
Oh,
like
it's
the
still...
username was being used.
Oh, okay, right. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So you should have just changed the one you had rather than.
Yeah, I should have just removed all my
Yeah,
videos, but
yeah.
I was like 13 at the time. And I was
Thought
like,
it was
this,
a good idea.
This is a great idea.
I mean, it's not unreasonable to think that would work. So
Yeah.
it's, you're not dumb, don't worry.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, what I was thinking, so everything needs to be wrapped in a container to have this sort of padding around the edge, the same as this one does.
Yeah.
And then I guess, so what I'm thinking is, should we just make it by default that container has, because we're setting this stuff dynamically on the header here, but it looks to me like the container does exactly the same thing for this content area as well.
Yeah.
So we might as well just have that as default styles on the container, and then we won't have to worry about setting them for this content area as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, hey, fun. You know Bobby Giandroso. He designed that website and he illustrated that lumberjack illustration. way back in the day. So we've been working together for so long.
Is that like one of the first things he designed?
No, well, me and Bobby worked on MVP Tracker together.
Oh, that was when you met, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember.
So
he was already pretty good when you met him.
Yeah. He was a designer when I met him. So, and then we've made so much shit. Like when I went to America, we made like 3 products together because I was just in his room. We were just like, yeah.
I'm surprised.
Crazy, right? I've known Bobby since I was like, oh god, like I don't know, like 6 years now, 7 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, ridiculous. All right, let's stop talking and actually make this. What time is it? Or how long have we been going for?
We got another 8 minutes left.
All right, do you reckon we can quickly make this in 8 minutes?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's smash through it.
As long as we get stopped with the distractions. Well.
Yeah, man, go. So let's set these as default styles on the container, and I've taken it out of the header specific styles so that if we refresh, it should be exactly the same on the header, and then we can just wrap the content in the same container. So let's go to index, and then it's already wrapped in a container. It's like I freaking planned this.
Yeah, I think I knew that already.
Well, you're ahead of me. So let's make a sidebar component, and we'll have a styles, nice one, Joe, and an index.js. I just forgot the JS. And then we're gonna import styled from styled components.
Before you carry on, can you do me a big favor?
What's that?
Can you delete some of those tabs, because you've got so many tabs open. You've got like every file open.
Why is that a problem?
I think it's easier to focus when you only have open the tabs that you're, and not like that, like along the top.
This is how I like to do it, and then I can just switch between things like this.
Okay, weird. I don't know, I like having like only 3 tabs open at the top, which is like the 3 files I'm currently interested in. If you know what I mean?
No, because I never click on this tab bar.
Right,
I never have to.
Because I do use that, so it's like I look at the top now and I see like there's about 5 different styles.js.
I could hide it. Like I either use this sidebar to navigate, or I just like type in like button and then index.
Yeah.
So I could even hide this tab bar. I wonder if we could do this.
Alright, okay then. You work a different way from me.
But what we're doing is we're running out of time to do this main thing.
Yeah, that's fine. Carry on.
Okay, so we're gonna have a const sidebar, and it's going to be a styled, and then which element are we going to use, Pete? Do you know?
A div, a section?
No. There's an
element. Is
there
a sidebar HTML?
There's an element specifically for things that go on the side of websites.
Wow.
And it's called a side, like this.
A side? Wow, I had no idea. Is this one of these new HTML5 ones?
It's not new, mate. It's
HTML5.
Like HTML5 came out a long time ago.
I say new, but like it's the newest HTML. Brand new.
True. So I'm just going to say this takes up the most, and then I'm going to give it a max width.
Wait, the sidebar shouldn't be flex 1, should it? Should be the middle.
It doesn't matter because this max width will kind of stop it from expanding out anything like that. I do this so that it's kind of like saying width 100%. So if the browser's any smaller than that, it goes to 100% instead of.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you're thinking ahead to like the responsive.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a width of 241 pixels, but I feel like 240.
Oh, 250 is so much nicer.
But rounds to the nearest 10, surely.
Yeah.
Does UpTools use next.js? No, it doesn't.
That's just with React, right?
Yeah, that's just using like standard React. I tell you what though, like you're really pushing my time here. I got 5 minutes to finish. But let's have a look at what websites use Next.js that I've made. So the new version of 2Cards is going to be using Next.js. It's not built yet, but it will be. Zebra is going to be is currently using Next.js.
This site now.
Yeah.
This
uses Next.js.
It's like 1 page.
Yeah, it's 1 page, but
so it's super simple. Yeah. It looks nice. It's a nice site.
Yeah, and then
did Bobby design that?
Nope. No. Steven did. The designer that's on that page.
Just everything I see that you've made, I'm like, oh, did Bobby design that?
Yeah, so the human website that I designed for Bobby, this uses Next.js.
Oh, sick.
And it's basically like it's so that when they add pages, eventually you've got like server-side rendering and better SEO control and all of that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And then AO Studio, the sort of thing that me and Bobby are kind
What
of.
does this use it?
Yeah, this is doing it.
Is this still existing, AO? I haven't really heard anything of it.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of like, it was a thing a little while ago now, and
You're not working under it at the moment, are you?
No. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, let's continue with what we were doing.
Yeah, so we've got 3 minutes to do this. So we kind of got this.
Easy, bro.
Easy. Alright, let's import React from React. Let's say const sidebar is this. We're going to import the styles form.
I think you need a git ignore. Because apparently you have 5k file changes right now.
Yeah, I might need to do that.
Git ignore.
So let's follow the naming conventions and say styled sidebar.
Thanks for the info, Joseph.
No worries.
You got an error.
Yeah, I did get an error. So then styled sidebar. And then we need to have React children in here, so react.children.toArray, and then pass in the children, and then pass in here the children, and then we also need to have some prop types defined.
Okay.
Types, and then we need to.
Nova C, why aren't you using the import cost extension? Thanks for the great content and output. Import cost.
I was using
yeah, I
it.
know this one, right? It tells you like how heavy it's going to make this page because of the import.
Yeah, I was using it, but what happened is that it was making all of my pages load slower that I opened, because while the sort of like the amount of size each import took up, it was made like me scrolling the page slow, and it kind of lagged out my editor.
Lagging VS Code a bit.
So just because of that reason, but it is a really cool extension. I do like it.
Right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I don't think we really need it because it's pretty standard, like the imports in every file. It's not really much of a decision. Like, we're not using tons of libraries. It's just like, you need React, you need prop types. That's it.
Yeah. Like, we can think about adding it in later just to check things, but...
Yeah, having it on all the time isn't really that necessary, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks for the great content and output, he also said. I didn't know that.
Cool. So... export const. Oh, did I remove the styled sidebar thing from here?
Weird.
Yeah.
I think you just forgot to actually write it.
Yeah. Okay. So now that should work. Let's.
Okay, and we'll stick to the side.
Import sidebar from. Well, it doesn't like the flexbox will make it stick to the side. It's just contained in that 240 pixels width.
Yeah. Okay.
So sidebar. And we've got, okay, so we've hit the time where I said I was going to stop.
Exactly
so
now, okay.
I'm just going to put these in here and say
just
like
check
sidebar
if
1.
Yeah, we just want to check if the element works.
And then
another one.
Yeah, sidebar 2. Sidebar 2.
And then just add a bit of text in the middle as like the content, I guess.
Yeah, maybe we'll have like a div.
Yeah, just put a div with like some text in it. For now.
And we'll say this is the content.
Yeah, and we can add that in the middle, I guess, if we need to.
Yeah, this also needs to have margin left and right, otherwise it's going to be stuck to the side of the sidebars.
What, the div?
Yeah. But
it looks good.
it's because this is text align centered. You won't notice that it's. So like if I inspect.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's as wide as the whole space available. It needs some margins. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look and just make sure that these... So we've got a side element here, which is 240 pixels, and one over here, which is 240
this
pixels.
one is actually... The middle one doesn't have flex 1 on it.
Oh, okay.
It has the justify content from above, so that's actually kind of okay for now.
It should have flex 1. So yeah, maybe we can have like a content... Or we should probably just
We could just make it as wide as the content.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends.
It would be like I would do. Flex
what is the
1.
content? Let's go down to the actual design and see what's supposed to be.
I would do flex 1, margin left 80 pixels, margin right 80 pixels, and then it kind of just expands with.
That makes sense, but go down to like what the page looks like. There we go. So yeah, it makes complete sense that those two boxes there would just get smaller and the content would just flow down onto more lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, having flex 1 makes sense.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna have a little break. We're gonna make that content area. We're gonna start maybe styling out these sidebars, and we're gonna see how far we can get with this front end page. I hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream so far. Feel free to give it a little share on Twitter, see how many people we get watching when we start up again.
Yeah. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot, to be honest. Maybe we can switch for a little bit later on, and I can.
Oh yeah, so I can be you'll be the driver. And I'll be the navigator.
Because right now, like I see what you're doing and I understand it, but I wouldn't just think of it off the top of my head.
All right,
so it would be quite fun for you to like tell me what to do or not.
Yeah, cool. Let us know if that's something you'd be interested in, and.
Because that might be going at a bit more of an easier pace as well for people to watch. Because right now you're probably writing faster than people can understand.
Yeah. I'll probably be back in about half an hour to max 40 minutes. We're basically just gonna have a little walk around. We might play a bit of PlayStation. Just have a little bit.
Get a drink and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, just standard break stuff. Right. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Bye.
Okay, we are now back, and we are. Do you want to move that phone off the table so it doesn't go voo, 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 voo,
yeah,
and affect the microphone? I'm not sure if it does, but just in case. Okay, so we're back. This is where we left off. Hope you guys had a good break. I got changed into a t-shirt because it was boiling in this room, and didn't want to just be over here sweating. So we got this sidebar, and then we got the content, we got sidebar 2. Now what I'm thinking is making basically this entire thing here into basically this entire index page into its own component, which will kind of be like a page template component, and then we can pass in what we want the left content sidebar, if anything, to be, and what we want the right content sidebar, if anything, to be. And then we want and then what we want the main content to be, because if you look at the designs, then it basically follows this same convention of having two sidebars and content, apart from this one, which we can just not include the sidebars on. But on every page we have this sidebar and we have this. And it looks like they're the same content, but I'm assuming that depending on
the left hand side it's different. Look, there's the about and then there's the elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming like if you're on profile or not and stuff, this stuff is going to change depending on whose profile you're on.
And how much information they've provided. And look down at the bottom, that screen there has like a completely different.
This one, it has like useful links
because it doesn't have an about. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's the smartest way to do it. So let's make that template, page template. What should we call it? Template, page template thing. Oh, by the way, we made the font size bigger on this. I hope you guys can see it a little better now. If you need me to increase the font size again, then let me know. But what are you thinking? Template or page template, or what should we call the component that we wrap all of?
Call it template.
Just template. It's there now. It's
okay,
done.
It's done. It's true.
It's written in stone. So I'm literally just gonna copy this entire thing and back, boom, 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 and then we're gonna change index to be template. Like so, and then we can change all of these so that they just go from in the components folder. And yeah, so now instead of having this being static and this being static and this being static, we're going to make these props, and then we're going to make this whatever the sort of children is of the container.
Yep.
First thing you can do is, now that it's a component, I feel a little bit more comfortable having its own styles. Like if I wanted to to have custom styles on the index page,
You'd
I'd
have to
make
put them in
this
Google
an
styles.
index folder and then have like.
Oh yeah,
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 just so-
folder for the styles.
Yeah, exactly.
File, sorry.
So I feel a little bit more comfortable doing this.
Okay, that makes sense.
Import styled from styled components, and I'm just gonna make a const
You've got
content.
several files that you haven't saved right now.
It's just what the stuff that I'm editing.
Hmm.
Start content. Style dot. I mean, I'm gonna use div. Like technically, you could use section, might be better. But I just kind of use div for most things.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna give it. I think it was just a flex of 1, and then padding left and right of. See, this is. Okay, so the sidebar I made width. Did I make it width 280? Because that's what that is there. But then on this page it's 248.
Yeah, I think you did 240.
Yeah, it changes everywhere. And this is 280.
That's so annoying. Yeah, but if you look, there's a lot of extra white space on the side of that box. But so maybe 300.
Yeah, well, that would be done with padding. Basically, I think I'm just
Yeah.
going to do 280 because it looks
That
like...
seems to be the biggest thing.
Yeah, it looks like that's the most commonly used one, and I think the designer basically just hasn't made components for like these sidebars and stuff.
Yeah, he just
So
kind of
it's-
did it quickly.
Yeah, so he just kind of whipped it out quickly without trying very hard on this.
Whipped it out.
Yeah. Hey Bobby, how you doing, man?
Oh, hey man.
And then yeah.
Bob,
Okay.
Bobby is our one viewer. It's like a private show.
Hey Bobby. Hope you're enjoying the stream, mate. So yeah, let's change these sidebars to have 280 instead of 240.
Oh, we have wait, what? 2 people are messaging in the chat, but we only have 1 viewer.
Maybe it's just taking a while for that to update.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Okay, so these sidebar now widths are now 240. Then this is gonna have a flex 1 and a padding left and right, or probably a margin left and right makes more sense, of about 50. We'll say 50.
There's some quite weird numbers.
It's
yeah.
48, but we're gonna say 50.
Yeah.
So flex 1 and then margin 0 pixels, 50 pixels.
Ah, so there's 3 people watching. That's what they said. Yeah, I think our like number is delayed
Yeah,
by a little bit because we have 2 right now.
yeah. Bobby, you need to catch up, mate. We've been working on, so we've had 3 live streams now, and we started working on a project called rep.ly, so reply, and it's basically like an ask.fm sort of site where you ask questions anonymously or with a signed in profile, and then people can answer them. So you can like go to someone's URL, like they post it on Twitter, like ask me some questions, reply /J Smith, and then people can come and ask me questions, I can reply. That sort of concept. And we're just going to be making the front end, the back end, and making the product live. And it's going to be an open source project. I think that's a pretty good brief explanation for you.
Yeah, you'll see. Like we keep flicking to the designs every now and then, so you'll see a bit of what it looks like as soon as
Yeah,
we next look at that.
So yeah, I kind of made this sort of style div that I want to pull in now to this template page.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just import it from styles, and then I'm just gonna replace you with you, and then
Okay.
we want to have some props. Import prop types from prop types. It's weird when you say things like import React from React, import prop types from prop types.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a cool way of like converting camel case into whatever this
So
case
you could
is.
just write import React
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something, and then it would work.
And then it would work it out.
This font size is much better for the stream. Okay, cool. Yeah, we pumped it up a little bit.
Alright, yeah, awesome. We're gonna, we'll keep it at this. We won't make you guys be squinting and making us go max screen, because nobody wants that. Template.prop types equals. And then we want to have sort of like a left content prop.
Okay.
And it's
and
going
that's
to
going to
be
be a node.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be required, and I think we can just have like a default of null, and then we can choose to pass it in or not.
No.
Yeah, I think that's a valid node, because like when you have React and you don't pass in something to return, it will say you have to pass in a node or null.
Or okay.
So it has to, like you have to like explicitly say.
Okay,
nothing.
but I'm wondering if in order to get that effect of the one page that doesn't have sidebars, maybe it's worth saying if you don't pass an argument, put in like an empty div which has a width.
Well, I'm just gonna keep this sidebar component and only replace this content.
So that's gonna have null. So okay.
So
yeah.
this width will still stay.
Yeah. Okay, that's perfect then.
Yeah, and then we'll have the same for right content. I don't want to call it left and right because, like, for me, I kind of use left and right as like padding or margin left and margin right. Like
yeah. Of course, yeah. Content makes more sense.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have the children, and then maybe we should make this required.
Yes, because otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. So let's have some default props here. Default props. So for the left content, we're going to have null, and for the right content, we're going to have null.
And the children don't need a default because it's required.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Then we're going to pass them in here. So left content, right content, and children. And basically, if I wanted to only show this entire thing, if there was a left content, then I could do something like left content.
Yeah, sure.
Content.
But we want to have it no matter what.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's fine.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was just showing the people on the stream that like if you wanted to kind of do this sort of effect, then this sidebar would only show if the left content exists. But for us in our situation, because I'll show you now that in the design we have a page where it doesn't have left or right sidebars somewhere down here, but it does still keep the content in the middle, so we want to keep this sort of like sidebar width here even if it's empty, and that way we can still make it sort of like a fully responsive, expanding, fluid website, but keep this padding when it doesn't have any sidebars. So I'm just going to throw the left content stuff in here. So we can say if left content, we could just throw it in like that. I don't think we need to say.
Yeah. So what happens if it's null? How will that render?
This would just be an empty
It won't
div.
put like the word null on the screen.
No.
Okay.
Not unless it was like a string that contained the word null, then it would.
Okay.
But, so then right content. And then this is going to be our React children that we pulled in. So to do that, we do react.children, and then this listens to any sort of elements inside this template component. So for example, these are the children's for the container component and things like that. And then we'll say children, like so. And this is looking good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what might be quite cool is if we can now change the page title, the title of the page that you go to dynamically with this. So we can pass in a title string, and then because we're wrapping each page in this component, it'd be cool if we could just say the title of this page is like
rather than having to do it individually on each page.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Just a prop.
Because next.js has a
like a title thing you can import, right?
Well, it has a head component.
Head, okay.
Yeah, so it imports like the meta information, so like title, description, or if you want any like social media images, we can kind of do all of that dynamically, so each page can have a different like meta description and things like that, which is much better on SEO.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we'll do things like that.
Okay.
So we're going to import head from next/head.
Okay. Cool.
And
next head,
and then we're going to just have this head component up here, and it should always be the first element in your sort of like div, whatever, just because it needs to be read first. Okay, so it's saying that self-closing tags, ignore that because we just don't have any content in here, and then basically all of the elements in here will be put into the HTML head tags, so we can just write title, and then we could pass it in a dynamic title. So for example, let's just say, like for example, we might have reply and then like this break and then sort of page title. And we could...
Yeah, not just the page title.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to think of, like, most pages will probably be, like, reply and then, like, someone's profile or something like that. It probably won't just be someone's profile.
What is it on, like, Twitter or something? If you're on someone's Twitter profile, what does it show? I feel like it probably just shows Twitter, right?
Yeah, let's go to Twitter and...
So on the home screen it just shows Twitter, and
Yeah.
then on someone's profile...
Let's head to Bobby's profile because he's viewing, so... Big shout out to the boy.
Alright, yeah, you see Bobby bar Twitter.
Okay, so it's like got
The
their
other way
name
around.
afterwards.
Yeah, let's do that then. Yeah, that makes sense. Because then if your tab's really tiny, you see the most important information first.
Okay, cool. So what we could do then is we can have... we could say, like, if page title, then page title...
Yeah, okay.
Title, and then we can also do that bar
Yeah.
symbol. So let's throw this in.
Need another template. Fucking hell, man.
Templates within templates. But I think this will be quite nice. And then we have like reply here.
Yeah.
Does
Wait,
that
no,
make
this
sense?
is. So that needs. Something is wrong. Yeah, I can't really tell exactly what.
I'm thinking we
that
could just do,
quotation's in the wrong place.
Well, also it can just have like I think it needs to have like that.
Yeah, of course.
So we can just replace this with 2 ampersands.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's if there's a page title, it'll be page title bar reply, and
Yeah.
if not, it will be just reply.
That makes
Okay,
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. We need to add that title prop in, and the default can be null.
Okay. Bobby
then-
said lol.
Lol. He's getting shout outs to all of our 5 watchers right now. So, it's not a node, it's a string.
Doesn't like that.
That's because we're not using it, because we're not passing it in.
Yep.
Oh, we called it page title as well, so
True.
that probably helps. Okay, cool. So now I think this template is done, and we can sort of replace the content on this index page.
Mhm.
So now instead of including all of these, which we will be doing most places, we can now just
include
import
one.
the template from
Alright, sick.
components template, and then we can just replace all of this
Mhm.
with template, and then whichever is inside this content.
Yeah,
So
so-
like hello world.
Yep.
We're not gonna have any sidebars now. We're just gonna have
Okay, and we'll see if it loads correctly.
Yeah.
Look, null reply at the top.
okay. So it looks like it's because we did this and it's basically saying that this
it's
is equal to
printing
null.
null, yeah.
So we could just
it's
fix
doing
that.
like toString method on
Yeah.
null.
We could just fix that by doing
So we need an else empty string.
else an empty string, which
Yeah.
should fix the title to just
Yeah.
be reply.
Yeah, right, sick.
Yeah, so you see how we have
that
this
in the middle.
hello world, and it's
It
got
looks
the
my-
sidebar padding here and the sidebar padding here, right?
Do we need some kind of margin on the center content?
It does have center content, so like if we
Okay, yeah, let's have a look at the
yeah,
div.
it does have margin. So like if we inspect this, this should be like a div over here, right? So we have this container.
Right. We have the aside. It has no width.
Okay.
Well,
Even
no,
though
no, it has no height. It's 280 width but no height.
okay.
Yeah, and look, yeah, that one has the right margin.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, looks good. Looks right.
Cool.
Correct.
And then if we wanted to, so say we're back on this index page, and if we wanted to pass in like left content and right content,
Mm-hmm.
we can do left content is equal to a like node, so we can say like a div or something left sidebar, and then we can do the same for right content,
Okay.
and we just call this right sidebar, and we could even make these like separate components that you pull in. Which
Yeah,
is
you
quite
could just
nice.
pass in, a
Yeah,
component.
so now we should have left sidebar and right sidebar, and they're in the right places.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could
Alright,
make,
sick.
for example, we could make a common component.
Well, yeah, we should
like,
make a
called, like a profile.
Yeah, we need to
component.
make a profile component. Yeah, and we just throw that in the sidebar, and then that will render if there's an about, show that. If there's a more link, show that.
that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then that will make this look a bit neater because at the moment it looks a bit messy having the inlines.
Alright, so we have the layout now, so the next thing to make is the profile component, right?
And let me just test the page title and say we'll just say landing, even though on a landing page we obviously wouldn't say landing specifically, but just to test it.
See if it works.
We should have the landing and then the bar reply.
Cool, man.
Which
looks
works.
good.
What's cool about this is you could even have like a time interval, so when there's a notification it can change the title every like 5 seconds to like flash with a 1 or something. You know when you get a message on Facebook Messenger
with a notification,
and it's sort of the page title changes, so it
we should
makes it
definitely
look
do that.
Okay, so yeah, I guess let's start with this left sidebar content. So yeah, let's start with this profile. We haven't done the back end or anything yet, obviously all of this stuff is going to be static information, and then later on in the live streams when we start the back end, we'll be replacing this and adding in like a Redux shared state and all of that fun stuff. But for now, let's make this profile. So we need to have this sort of default profile picture avatars by the way.
So we need to like export that SVG.
Yeah. What I like to do is I like to take the circle that it's in. I was really hoping that
96.96.
Could replace it with a square really easily. Because the border radius is gonna like crop the image itself. It's not. Because then later on, say that we want to change profile pictures from circles to squares.
Right. The image itself shouldn't be a circle. It should be cropped to a circle. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to move this into the same place that this was, and then just get rid. Oh wait, does this need to?
You already have a rectangle there. It's like slightly off.
Yeah, it's because this avatar is masking this circle.
Okay.
I assume I can just do like use as mask. That didn't help. I'm gonna kind of cheat my way through this because I don't know how to use Figma very well. Basically, there's probably gonna be some people screaming at me like, "This is how you do it. You're a freaking fool."
Bobby, you got any tips?
I think Bobby uses sketching.
Pro designer tips.
So 96 by 96. And then we're just going to make sure
that's lined up. Get that zoomed. I think it's already in a rectangle, isn't it?
No, it's in a circle.
But what's that rectangle there?
That's a circle.
No, the one underneath.
That's the one I just made.
Right, and what's rectangle 3.1?
Is a circle.
But why is it called rectangle?
Yeah, I was hoping you could change... Oh, wait, you can just change the border radius.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's the
that's
difference. Okay, yeah, sorry, it kind of was a bit fuckity-fuck, but then...
This one
just changed the... I was really hoping that would work.
Why didn't it?
Is it because this mask is a circle?
Yeah, do we need a background fill or something?
There we go.
Yeah, so what did you just change?
I just changed the border radius on that. That's right.
A different one. Yeah, that's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, that looks right. Design looks like Ask Playbook.
What's that?
Yeah, it does. Ask Playbook's a website, mate. It's a really sick website too. It basically just like you have like any question that you can think about involving like design or like freelance work or anything like that. Then people can kind of like go on there, reply with like professional answers, or you can just look up what people have answered. And it's like
Playbook helps designers achieve their career goals.
There you go.
Okay. It looks neat. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
I think it's using like the iPhone like design guidelines. I think it looks like an iOS app.
Yeah, it does definitely.
With the like thick font.
Alright, I'm going to export not this entire group, but just this avatar. And I'm going to export it ×2, just so that we can make sure that it looks good on Retina. And export... It's going to do this weird thing that you can't change the name of it. It has to be like avatar here. It chooses the file name of the image for you.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It doesn't like... Oh wait, it does let you. I swear when we did the plus, it was like automatically put it in folders and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it did. I don't really know what happened.
Okay, so we're gonna make like an image folder as well, and we're just gonna put this avatar in images. Whew, that was a long way around things. Okay, so let's before we make a profile component, I'm gonna make an avatar component.
Right, okay, fine.
Basically, rule of thumb with React is use as many components as you can, just because then you can reuse things everywhere. And it's
this is something that annoyed me about one of the guys I work with, John. So in Angular, it has components just like React, and you can just...
John's going to be watching this, and he's going to be like, dude.
This guy, right? So he made the entire app, an entire website was just one component, just one big component, and I was like, I think you don't really understand how components work. That's quite
funny. Okay, so yeah, we have this avatar component, and as always, we import React from React, and then it'd be quite cool if by default it has the URL of the default profile picture and you can just pass in an updated URL to replace it.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Okay, so we need to have prop types from...
Do we have a constants thing anywhere? No. Should we have that? A file with a list of constants?
Well, we have the theme, which is kind of theme related constants.
Is the default profile picture kind of the theme?
I mean, not really, but is it ever gonna? Because we would just replace that picture if we
wanted
to replace
the image. Yeah, true. Yeah, you wouldn't change the URL.
Yeah. Constants should be used for any sort of secret or private keys and things like that. And, and maybe the URL of the backend server will be a constant and things like that. True. It's more for strings than things. I guess. I guess you could do it as a constant, but.
But yeah, I agree with you. You can just replace the image.
Yeah. Avatar is a good movie. Avatar.prop types, and we're gonna call it URL, which the prop type string, and then we're gonna have a default prop type avatar default props URL. And then this will be equal to whatever the URL is to our static default image. So static image avatar.png. And then we export default the avatar component. And then we need to obviously style it. So let's make a styled component. Import styled from styled components, and then const styled avatar is a styled, and then I guess just div. And then let's just export that so we have access to it.
So the avatar component is just going to be a div with an image tag in it?
No. It's going to be a div which passes a background image, because then we can use background size cover, so it automatically fills the container and doesn't stretch the image at all.
Yeah, we don't have to set a width and a height of the image.
Yeah, exactly. And because some people upload sort of horizontal images or landscape, and some people would portrait, some people will be square, and we just want to this is kind of a neat way of not having to crop images, because CSS can do it for you. And then we can just have a border radius with overflow hidden for it to be circle.
Yep.
You got it?
Yep.
So I guess the first thing we need to do is then import that styled avatar here, and import styled avatar from styles. This should have the trading comma, and then we need to import this. Pass in this URL prop to the component, and then styled avatar can be self-closing, and the URL is URL, because we're not going to have anything within this. We could not have it self-closing, and then within this we could by default show the user's initials. You can do it that way, But because we have a default profile picture, there's never going to be anything in this avatar component.
Okay.
And then we can just set the background image to be
The
URL, and then
we need to have a function for the props. Yeah.
Yeah, the boy's picking it up now. Nice. And then I guess you want to pass in a width and height, or maybe pass in a size because it's always going to be a square.
We'll probably have what, like small, medium, large, something like that. Or
Well, I was thinking you could pass in size, and then size is equal to like 96, and then that just sets the width and height to 96, because there might be somewhere where it's like 30 and somewhere where it's
I don't know. I feel like for the website, these profile images shouldn't be arbitrarily sized. They should be one of a few sizes.
Yeah, true.
Like, because you don't want one place to be 96 and one place to be 100. It's like a bit.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if there's any more that's.
I think it's only used once in the whole.
Well,
site.
in the header it's 40.
So there we go. So that's the small, and then what we have there is the medium, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, and then we'll leave one for large.
Yeah.
So I guess we can have the default as medium.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Medium. Like this, and then size prop type string, and then we need to pass that in here, and then use it in the avatar.
Mm-hmm.
We could either make this part of our themes, because it's kind of like to do with styling. So we could have
the values
avatar
for these sizes. Yeah,
is
definitely.
equal to an object, and then we have like
small, medium, large,
Yeah,
and the number
small.
of pixels that the width is.
yeah, medium.
Cool.
And then large we'll just put in a random number for now, and we can change it.
Yeah, just make it
So
up
small
and
was
down,
like the 40 pixels, and medium was 96 pixels, and large will say like 150 for now.
Okay.
But obviously we don't know what this is yet, so we'll just change
But when
that
we need to
in
use
time.
it, then we can change it.
Yeah, so we're passing in the style, which is a string of either medium, large, or small, and then we can just say the width is going to be, first let's import that theme document.
Mm-hmm.
Theme from theme, and then let's do
So we have to do like a
theme dot avatar sizes, and then so we need to pass in the props in. Props.
Yeah.
And then props dot size.
I see. Yeah.
Like that, and then that will be equal to whichever size.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then same for the height.
Mm-hmm.
Height this. Cool, and then background size is going to be color.
Okay. Yeah.
And then background position is going to be
center.
Yeah. And then we won't worry about background color for now because we have this. The reason why I did it all in separate properties, because you can obviously
you can
just
do that all in one. Yeah.
But what would happen is then, because I'm changing this URL dynamically, I'd have to I guess I could do like this. I
think it looks
position,
better
center,
having them separate. It's easier to read.
Yeah, I think it's easier to read too. Yeah, I think that's mainly what's important with code, is is it easy to read?
Well, yeah, there's I was discussing this with somebody a while ago. It's whenever you're writing something, you have to kind of balance. One, how easy is this to read? Two, how efficient is it? And three, kind of how neat or elegant a solution is it?
Yeah.
So you might have something that's one line, but it's a really horrible line that doesn't make any sense. Or you might have something that's 10 lines, but it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's which one do you do?
Yeah, it's weird.
Sometimes it's a hard
decision. I kind of choose more readable over as long as it doesn't affect the speed of things, then I go for more readable. If it affects the speed of things,
well, this is something interesting. Is the nice functional stuff you have in JavaScript, like map and reduce and.
Yeah, if you do a simple for loop, it's actually faster.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, for loop is faster than using a map.
Mm. Yeah, but it depends really.
Because a map looks way better in the code.
If the array is small enough for it not to make too much of a
difference.
Yeah,
it's basically equivalent. Yeah, but if it's a huge data set, a for loop is way more efficient.
Yeah, I'd only consider that stuff for large sets of data.
Yeah, but it's something quite interesting that yeah, when you're dealing with large data, uglier code works much better.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of a shame. But, you know.
Okay,
that's
so
life.
I'm not gonna, as I said, I didn't make that sort of left sidebar or like that profile component yet. So
Okay,
I'm just
so we have to do that.
I'm just gonna throw it in here to kind of see
Okay,
if it
just
works
put it in the
first.
div. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna import the avatar from components avatar, and then I'm just gonna put it in here. And
Okay.
because the default size was that medium,
we
should
don't
just
need
be
to
able
pass
to.
in any props.
Yeah, we should just be able to do that. And because we're not logged in, we don't have to pass in the URL of the user's avatar.
Yeah.
Then yeah, it should. There we go.
Cool, man.
Have that circle avatar.
Cool. Should it be centered in the sidebar?
No, it's left aligned.
Oh yeah, so it is.
Okay, and then we can
That's it.
have some texts and
Mhm.
stuff. But for that, let's now
We'll now make the profile component.
make the profile component. Yeah. Cool. I'm just looking around at the sidebars to see how it changes on each one. So I can see that like sometimes we have this about section, sometimes we have this elsewhere section,
Mm-hmm.
and then for companies we have useful links. It looks like, and it looks like when we're like for here the profile says like design at reply, and for here it's like that handle.
So I guess you can put whatever you want in there.
Well, what I'm thinking is that on people's profiles, it's like their role, and on your account, because this is like you're logged in, right? Oh no, you're not even logged in.
Yeah, wait, what's the top? Go to the right.
This is
side.
reply user profile not logged in.
And what's
this
the
is
other one? This is
reply
logged
profile logged in, but I don't understand why it would change.
Yeah, I don't understand either.
So I'm thinking that was just a design mistake, like a design flaw, and another reason why you should use components in Figma and Sketch and stuff.
So maybe we should message the designer and ask him.
Yeah, but we're obviously not going to do that live because we're not
Yeah.
going to just wait for him to
Yeah,
reply.
of course, yeah. But
So-
we should do that at some point.
Either way, it's exactly the same text style, so it's not going to be a big issue to change.
Yeah,
is
we
it?
just throw one of the texts
Yeah.
in. It doesn't matter which one.
Alright, so let's make that profile component.
But I'm kind of thinking that, yeah, that field is just, you can put whatever you want in it. If you want to put a Twitter handle in, you can. Or if you just want to put a description in, you can.
Well, yeah, on the profile component, I guess we could just have booleans, which is like show handle and show role, or like show
Yeah.
description, like profile.
Maybe.
What is it even called, like on your profile when you have that like little blurb? Bio.
Bio,
Yeah.
yeah.
Couldn't
Well, we
think of
have
the name.
the about underneath, which is kind of like the bio.
Yeah, I guess. Alright.
You have to do this on every single file.
Yeah, I know.
You
You don't actually have to import React from React. It's
It's just for the linter.
yeah, it's just the ESLint.
I feel like you need a
recommends
keyboard
it.
shortcut, like
Oh,
Command
there,
Shift.
there
R
probably
or something.
like yeah, there probably is. Definitely with VS Code, there's loads
Yeah.
of like
There's
quick
probably a
and
plugin
shortcuts.
for it, right?
yeah, but I just prefer writing it because
Well, you can make autocompletes if you want, where you type like IR or something like that for import React,
yeah,
and then it will come up and
there's
like,
loads of them already built
with the
into
drop
VS
down.
Code. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
never
yeah,
bothered
yeah.
to look them up because
Yeah,
it takes like 3 seconds for me to write that.
yeah, of course.
Like I'll learn them all eventually, I guess. But okay, so we have this profile, which is obviously going to import that avatar that we made.
Yeah.
So import avatar from avatar, and then it needs to be wrapped in a div because this has to be one component. And then the first thing is going to be an avatar. And then I guess we're going to just have some text styles.
Yeah, so
We haven't done any text styles yet on the site. We haven't.
So
done
should we have
any-
some kind of global text styles, like
Yeah, normally.
we could have like styles for some like a H1, a H2, a H3.
Yeah. Normally I have just like a text component, and then depending on what size you pass in as a prop, it changes like whether it's a H1, 2, or 3, and then changes the style
Right.
it uses.
But do we need that, or should we just add a global style for H1 and H2 and H3?
Yeah, I mean, there's both as good as each other. It's just
Yeah.
like I prefer the text because it's like a component, and it's like everything's a component, and then
Yeah,
it works with the themes, and yeah, exactly. It kind of just makes sense.
Yeah, that's
but what I'm thinking is that maybe it's not needed at all, and we just sort of like have like a div, and then we start the div for now. Is what I'm thinking.
But I'm thinking there's like, for example, on this page, elsewhere, questions and answers, and the name,
about.
and the about are all the same one.
Yeah.
So I think to me that's a H2, and then Alex Van.
More like a H, like 3, right?
Okay, that's H3, and then the name is H2.
Yeah, and then I think we've got a H like 1 example.
Yeah,
like
on the landing
this
page,
would be like
yeah.
a H1.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have like obviously paragraph text. So let's just add global styles for those couple things.
Yeah, you just want to add them globally.
Yeah, makes sense. And then we can just use H1, H2, whatever.
Okay, so we have a H1, a H2,
A H3 and a P as well.
H3, and a P tag.
Alright.
Okay, so let's do this H2, which is size 22 pixels, bold and black. Font size 22 pixels, font weight, let's do 700, and
should it be 700?
yeah,
600?
technically it should be 600,
Yeah.
but if you remember when we did the logo,
I know, but I
reply-
think the logo is different. It's like it should be extra bold because it's the logo.
Okay.
So let's try 6. We'll see how it looks.
And then color is going to be the themes dot grace got colors. Oh, I just called it theme. Got the colors dot grayscale, and then 600 was that black.
Yep.
And then should it have a margin bottom at all? This is where like making it into a component is quite nice because you can pass in dynamic like bottom.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But for now, definitely not needed. It's just got a line height of 100%, whatever that means. So I'm guessing it just means 22 pixel line height.
Yeah.
Which
I think
is
it's just the default line height.
yeah, which
Isn't
is
it?
yeah, I think
So you don't have to add the property.
No, I just like to be able to read it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then this is basically exactly the same. It's got an 8 pixel box.
H2 comes with default like margins, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. So we might have to set the margin to 0. On that.
Yeah, I was thinking if we set the margin to 0, then if it needs margins, you can add that in the profile component.
Yeah, true.
It makes more sense because it's specific to that section.
Yeah. And then this is going to be basically exactly the same, but it's going to be font size 18 pixels instead.
Yeah.
And then, in the profile, we'll add a margin bottom of the 8 pixels that we see.
Exactly.
And then this stuff, 17 pixels, and it's sort of like the 300 grayscale.
So is that a P or not?
Yeah. I'd put
Is that
as
the
P.
same? Is that the same as the body in the middle there?
Looks like it. 17 pixels. 17 pixels, yeah.
Okay, cool. So,
They both have 120% line height. Why can't this just be in pixels, please?
yeah, I don't really understand that.
Does it do it in percentages in the code? No, it just has 24 pixels line height.
Alright, okay.
I guess because there's a code tab, it can do things like call it a percentage, but it's kind of annoying. I'm used to reading it from the box itself and not the code tab. But maybe I'll just keep the code tab highlighted, and that might be easier.
Yeah, I think
so it's font weight 400 now, and it's grayscale like 300 instead. And then we'll say the line height is 24 pixels, and then we won't do the H1 for now because we just haven't needed to use it at all.
Yeah, we'll just leave it empty.
Padding is also applied to these P tags.
Yep, you're right.
So, but I feel like
Should we have a default?
Yeah, I feel like there should be a default for
But
actual
what should
paragraphs.
it be? Because whatever the default is might not be appropriate.
Yeah, I mean maybe we should just have it whatever this size is here, like.
Is it only
that's
on the
quite high.
bottom normally, the padding?
Yeah. So maybe have like a padding bottom of like 30. Like we can change it later on.
Yeah,
but
okay, let's just add something in now and see.
just so that we can have something. Yeah, as
Yeah.
you said.
Okay.
All right. So then this profile will have a H2 of the user's name. Obviously, I'm gonna put my name, and then a P tag of whatever we want there, and then we'll also have like a H3, which will be about if about is rendered, and then we'll have a P tag. Auto closing.
Yeah, so we can probably wrap the whole about thing in like a section or a div or something, and then we can have like an if on that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna sort of like get it the styles rendered first,
Yeah,
and then we can
yeah.
have the props and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Because really, what I'd like to do is have some styles here. So have a new file called
Yep.
styles, and then let's import styled from styled components, and then export const, and then I'm going to call this profile info, and this is what's going to wrap these two things here. So it can have a margin bottom to split it up from this.
Right, yeah.
And maybe each thing can be wrapped in a profile info because they might be spaced equally. So,
well, if you go to one of the other screens,
Yeah,
I think
so-
we have more than one item.
so like 41 is like what we're looking. Why did they do
Yeah,
this?
because there's this big old like box on the bottom of that.
Yeah, let's move this to like. Well, it'll probably be. Yeah, let's just do this.
Well, yeah, we have 30 pixels on the bottom already, which is
Yeah.
basically that spacing automatically.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it looks like only this section needs the padding bottom of 40 because
Yeah.
then all of these will have default padding bottom from the padding.
From the P.
From the
But
paragraph tag.
the other one doesn't have a paragraph. It's like a
No,
list.
but it's also the last one, and I don't think there's ever anything after that. So
Okay.
so style.div, and it's gonna just have a margin bottom of 40 pixels, and then it's quite nice and easy to change that if we ever need to.
Okay.
And then we just have profile info pulled in from the styles, and then we can just wrap this stuff in profile info. We might even need to have margin top on it as well to push it away from the avatar.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, you're probably right. Just a little bit.
8 pixels. Margin top, 8 pixels. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. And then, what do you reckon? Do you reckon that's gonna look good? Do you reckon that's gonna not look right at all?
I think
What's
it'll
your?
be. It won't be right, but it'll be close.
Okay, let's have a look. Oh, we're not even using it.
Oh yeah, of course.
So let's now go to the index and basically replace this
Avatar with a profile.
Yeah. Profile and profile. And then we can just, instead of wrapping all of this in here, we can just
Yeah, we
go-
don't need the div anymore, right?
yeah, we can just say profile.
Cool.
Which is
Yeah,
nice.
this looks way neater now, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then when we have like a shared Redux state, this will just automatically have the user state that's
Mhm.
currently logged in and things. So,
Mhm.
and we can even pass in a user to override the default state, and then it pulls in all of that user's content instead
Yeah.
of your own user.
Yeah, makes sense.
So we can make that super nice. Yeah, so let's see how that looks. Pretty close, right? Pretty close.
Yeah, go back. The spacing's too big.
Yeah, this is definitely big. Like, I feel like that's definitely bigger than 4. Oh, it's because this has a default of 30
Ah,
pixel
because it's a
padding bottom.
P, right? So
Um,
it's actually 70 in there.
Well, what we could do
So
is
just
we
change
could
it
just,
to 10.
or we could just have P padding bottom none, or padding 0.
Yeah, and just override it from here. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that works.
And that will bring it closer.
Yeah.
This
that looks
then
better.
needs to drop down 3 pixels, but that isn't inside here. So maybe we should have like a global one, which is like,
Yeah, this is kind of what I was thinking, is
Profile
wrap
container.
the whole thing in it, and then you can just throw some styles in there and just add a few class names and stuff.
yeah. I try to avoid using class names.
I've noticed, yeah.
There's no real reason to. It's just I prefer that everything's a component, like how
yeah,
it looks.
no,
in
I've
the code.
noticed, yeah. Yeah, it's okay.
I think that's fine. I think it's not really a big deal if you
Yeah.
either way you're gonna do it is gonna work exactly the same. That's the beautiful thing about style components. It all just renders out to CSS anyway, so it's
Mhm.
just like it's totally your preference on how
Mhm.
you want to write it, and it's just nice and easy. So for this, we want to have, for the H3 elements inside it, we'll
Mhm.
have like a margin bottom of 8 pixels, and there we go. The room hasn't flashed red in a while. You notice that?
Yeah, you've been... Ah, wait, but you had a mistake that... Oh, you didn't save it, that's why. Yeah, you're just really careful of when you save, that's why. Like, I save automatically, like, every time I type anything. I just have a reflex of just pressing Command S.
Yeah, I used to.
But it's because I have auto fix on save turned on, so I just do it as I type and to, like, do half the typing for me, basically.
Cool. So, one fix here. This stuff here is, like, aligned centered.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it needs to be justify content flex start.
Precisely.
Something like that.
So that's in the template, and we have this container which is used for the header as well.
And it has a line item center.
Yeah,
it should
so
be
maybe
a line items start.
Maybe we can that can be a prop. Just because the header also uses this, and we want it to.
Yeah.
So maybe we just have a prop called align.
Okay.
And then have it as a type of string.
Okay.
And then the default will be center, like this, and then we pass in the align, and then we throw it in, It looks like this is taking up a lot of room on my document, but that's because my font size is so big that normally I work on a font size that is like this big. Yeah. So obviously these components aren't very big, but for people viewing the stream, it might look like we're just making these massive components for no reason. But yeah, how big was this? Like the
down one. Yeah, this one.
It was like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, now we have that align prop in this template. We can just pass the align value in here to be flex start, and that won't work yet. Because we need to actually use it.
Yeah, you are correct.
Oh dear. Props, and then props.align, and then it defaults to center, so the header will be centered, but this will be flex start.
Sick stuff.
Cool. So yeah, we've got the profile done now. I guess we should add like a little boolean to be like show about, because that's super quick and easy that we can do.
And then we can add the other section as well underneath. Maybe like. Yeah, we could just add all of the sections.
Yeah. Although, I might leave it after this stream, maybe? We've been streaming for another hour now.
2.5 hours, yeah. We had an hour, half-hour break, and then another hour.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
Yeah. I was just thinking maybe it would be worth finishing, like, the sidebar. The profile sidebar. Because there's only, like, a couple more sections, and it's just, like, a list and another heading. I think most of the work is already done at this point. And like you'll just do it like this, like wrapped in a profile info, probably.
True.
Right?
True.
Like not actually making a whole component, so it will just take like
I'll
10
make
minutes.
a list component because
that's the same thing as on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, because and also you can pass icons to this list.
Yeah. Well, what other things are in the profile sidebar? Because on some of the other screens there was something else. There's a third thing. Yeah, useful links. But that's the same thing.
It's just changing the title.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
So I think I might finish it after just wrapping this in. Just because, like, we could do another live stream tonight. Who knows? Like, we've got all night.
Yeah, as long as we can stay up for it.
Yeah. But exciting news, everybody! It is Christmas Eve for us. Anyway, in the UK.
True.
So, if anyone's watching the UK right now, Happy Christmas Eve, is that a saying? Merry Christmas Eve?
You can just say Merry Christmas, that's fine. That works for the whole Christmas period.
Oh, sweet. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, where's your Santa hat, Joe?
It's downstairs somewhere, and I tried to find it. I wanted to wear my Santa hat for this stream, but I just couldn't find it. Just could not find it. Okie dokie. Nah, this needs to be wrapped in like a divvy dope. A dope div. A divvy dope. I'm gonna break this down some lines because I don't like it when things take up too much space.
It's weird how your ampersand is like lightened with your theme.
Yeah,
your VS Code theme.
It thinks because you should do this, right? Like you should do like a HTML.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so default on show about is false. So if we go back to this stuff, that shouldn't be displayed anymore. But then maybe some places, who knows, we'd want to have the show about. And as it's a boolean, we don't have to say equals to true and all of that stuff. It'll just show. Like magic. Okay, I think this is it for a little bit anyway. We might not come back. We might come back. Are you doing some effects on the camera?
Yeah.
Of the vape. So yeah, maybe see you guys later. Maybe not. We're actually gonna stop the stream and not pause it now. Because
I think this is probably it for tonight. It's already like 2:30.
yeah, exactly. And even if we do come back, then 2.5 hours is a good solid part 3, right? We don't want.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we'll cut out the half an hour break.
Yeah.
Before, like, once it's posted, and then that's a 2-hour long episode of part 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's already too big.
Yeah, I hope you guys are learning some interesting sort of like production level techniques.
It's quite interesting because in the maybe 4 hours we've spent altogether streaming this, looking at it, we haven't done that much. Like, if we weren't really caring about the scalability, we could have probably made like the whole site in that 4 hours just by doing it with divs and styles. But because we've done it so neat, it's like it looks like we haven't done that much.
Yeah, but this is going to save us so much time.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, like
later on, we're going to be able to make pages.
The right sidebar is going to be like instant probably because everything you need to have done has already been done on the left hand.
Yeah, exactly. It will probably be like under 2 minutes of work. So, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. You've been a pleasure to stream with, as always, and yeah, stay tuned for part 4, where we're going to be continuing this. Maybe we're going to start the back end, maybe not. You're going to have to find out. So, see you later, guys.